I'm Justin Keay, Field Specialist in Horticulture for University of Missouri Extension. I'm going to give a brief overview of organic fertilizer materials that can be used as alternatives to manure. When fertilizing fruit and vegetable crops, it's important to consider that each type of vegetable crop or fruit crop has specific nutrient demands. Soil tests will measure the macronutrients and micronutrients present in your soil. Your soil will always provide some of the nutrients the crop needs. A soil test report will tell you what needs to be added to meet crop nutrient demand given the specific values found in your soil. Following fertilizer recommendations tailored for specific crops will help you maximize yield compared to more general fertility recommendations. This is a soil test report submitted to the University of Missouri Extension. Let's take a look at the bottom half. The crop selected was a new planting of strawberries, and the nutrient requirements and recommendations are listed in yellow. The nitrogen recommendation is 70 pounds per acre. The phosphorus recommendation is 130, the potassium is 140. The University of Missouri soil test will allow you to select up to 3 different crops on a given soil test report to receive specific recommendations for. You can contact your local extension office to submit soil samples or visit the website below for more detailed information. Many alternatives to animal manures exist and are available on the market. These products can be used as an alternative to or a supplement to a manure application or use of cover crops. Cost considerations must be made as these products are generally more expensive per pound of nutrient than manure or cover crops. Organic fertilizers can be used to dial in the nutrient demands of specific crops. Most organic fertilizers are animal or crop byproducts or mined mineral materials. Animal and crop byproducts are considered BSOWs, or biological soil amendments of animal origin, under the FSMA rule and might have application timing restrictions. We'll talk more in future videos about the FSMA rule and how it relates to manure and animal and crop byproducts. When planning for organic fertility management, you must consider the crop-specific nutrient requirements. It's also important to consider best practices and timing of fertilizer application for specific crops. The Midwest Vegetable Production Guide for commercial growers has a wealth of information and a great amount of detail in specific crop nutrient requirements and best practices for fertilizer timing. It's important to note that organic fertilizers have varying rates of nutrient availability and release. Weather and climate, as well as soil biological activity, impact the rate of nutrient release from organic materials. In cooler weather, nutrient release from organic materials will be much lower than in warm, moist weather. The table below shows relative availability of a variety of different organic fertilizer materials. This table from University of Georgia is just a snapshot of the full information found on the website below. You can see feather meal, a common and high nitrogen organic fertilizer, is a slow release material, whereas blood meal, another high nitrogen organic fertilizer, is a medium to rapid release material. This will impact how and when these fertilizers are used and applied on the farm. There are many different nitrogen sources available for organic producers. This is just a list of some of the higher nitrogen concentration materials available. As you can see, all of these materials have varying nitrogen values as well as relative availability or rates of release to the soil. Phosphorus sources include mined rock phosphate materials, as well as bone meal and mushroom compost. As with nitrogen, a variety of other phosphorus sources are available. This is just a brief summary of some of the higher sources. Potassium sources, mined potassium sulfate is one of the most commonly used at 22% and readily available material. For certified organic operations, you must consider that fertilizer materials such as animal and plant byproducts may not be treated with any prohibited materials. The OMRI list is a good place to start when considering whether fertilizer materials may be allowed in an organic systems plan. However, always check with your certifying agency before purchasing or applying fertilizing materials or including them in your organic systems plan. Visit the website below for more details on the National Organic Program rules in this organic handbook.